Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be cutting sirloin tip, also known as a knuckle. So right here is just some of the stuff that comes into like the stomach of the sirloin tip. Here you could get some good stew meat out of it, or you could get stir fry. So you always want to try to cut your stir fry or your stew meat and make sure it look very clean. So you want to turn the sirloin tip over and just want to follow the seam. Like I said, learn how to cut meat. It's all about seams. Once you learn what the seams are, it definitely make the job a lot easier. So you just want to follow the seam on the stomach and just continue along the line of the seam. So once you follow the seam, everything's going to come off how it's supposed to. Okay, if you try to cut down into the seam, you're going to cut into the meat. So once you follow the seam, you're going to actually just take out the whole stomach of the sirloin tip. So that's pretty much the stomach right there. Just want to clean up a little bit. You're going to get some really good stew meat or stir fry out of this. But just remember, this turns very quickly. For some reason, stomach always turns very quickly. So I always try to make my stir fry or stew meat very light when I use the stomach of the sirloin tip. Some people use it as steaks, but to me, it's so much like tendon running through it. I just like to use that stir fry and clean it out a little bit, or stew meat. And you always, when you do stew meat, you always want to try to make nice even cubes, as I'm doing right here. So you just want to go ahead. And there you go. So that'll be your stew meat. And that'll be very good stew meat, by the way, because it has nice marble in it. And the trim is right there, so we're going to throw. We're going to go back through it later. First, you want, once again, to make your thin slice, you want to go ahead and square it up, because you want to make sure the presentation when it goes in the trays look great. So now that you square it up, you want to go ahead and there you go. You make some thin slice. A lot of times the sirloin tip is going to move. So what you could do is just get like another piece of meat and put behind it to make it not move. So there you go. Get another sirloin, another piece of meat you're cutting, just to hold it in place so it doesn't move. And there you go. Then you're going to get your sirloin tip steaks, also known as your palamelia. It's a very great sandwich steak. So you just cut them very thin. It's a very popular steak, and it's not as tender as the top sirloin, but it's very nice and does make an awesome roast. So you just want to continue cut your steak thin and even. And this is one of the trickiest meat to learn how to like clean out the stomach. So this one on the top round usually give a lot of people when they're learning a hard time. But you just want to stay consistent. And the hardest thing about cutting meat is remembering what you're doing, because a lot of times you could cut something today and tomorrow you come back and they actually cut it again and you forget it. So cutting meat is a lot to do with having a good memory. So you're going to continue and cut down. And once you start to see the tendon and the meat start to be too much, that's when you know it's time to stop getting your steak, like right about there. So you're going to go ahead and clean out the rest of the stomach. And once you get that out, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to get some stew meat or stir fry, depends on what the case need. At the moment, we need stew meat. So pretty much that's why I'm getting so much stew meat. So those are tendons I'm talking about. It's going to make the meat really hard, so you don't have to deal with that. So there you go. Like I said, you're going to make them nice and even. And learn how to cut meat. It's not so much about being fast. It's about being consistent and knowing how to merchandise. So that'll be your stew meat. And this right here will be your sirloin tip steaks. So this right here is a key thing I'm going to make sure I try to include in all of my videos, showing how to tray the meat correctly. So you want to make sure you get a 16, or depends what tray you're using at your store. So this is how you tray the meat correctly when you cut them. Because a lot of times when people learn how to cut meat, they don't know how to tray. So I'm going to make sure I include traying the meat after I finish cutting them, so I can give you the full view of what it looks like, how to cut it, and how to tray it correctly. So that's how you want to tray your sirloin tip steak thin. So you're going to put 3 to a tray. And you always want to make sure you cover the tray. You don't want to leave too much empty space inside the tray. And you always want to make sure you put your diapers down, because that's what's going to help the meat from not bleeding out, because nothing worse than somebody picking up a pack of meat and the blood leaking their hand. So that's why the diapers are so important. Alright, so that's kind of how you want it to look when you finish traying your sirloin tip steak thin. Now we're going to go ahead and start traying the stew meat. So that's kind of what it looked like. Beautiful 3/3 minute 16 tray. So same thing, now your stew meat goes in a 10. So you once again, you make sure you have your diaper down. And you want to make sure they fit in the tray nice and neat. You just don't want to throw them in there. You want to make sure that they look level and neat. You don't want it to look like a football. So when the next one sit on top, it's like not even and it's going to purge a lot. So you're going to make sure everything sit nice and neat. And like I said, I'm going to start like a playlist for how to be a meat cutter. Definitely check out all of my playlists, and when I show you guys step by step to do a lot of different things. So this is going to be my playlist on how to be a meat cutter. I'm going to show step by step how to break it down, how to cut it, and also how to tray it. So there you go, and guys, don't forget to support the channel by just like and share and subscribe. And that's kind of what it looks like when you